The eruption of the Nevado del Ruiz occurred on November 13th, 1985, and was the first time the volcano had actually erupted after being dormant for 69 years. Now, the Nevado del Ruiz volcano is located in the country of Colombia, about 80 miles from the country's capital of Bogota. The volcano is a stratovolcano composed of many layers of lava, alternating with hardened volcanic ash and pyroclastic rocks as well. Now, the volcano is part of the Andes mountain range and the Andean volcanic belt. This belt then is formed due to the eastward movement of the Nazca plate moving towards South America. The Nazca plate then is an oceanic plate, which means it's much denser than the South American plate, which is a continental plate. So as these plates come together, then the oceanic crust is subducted underneath the continental crust and is forced downwards. As this happens, then the oceanic plate, or the Nazca plate, then is heated up and forms magma, which eventually rises up through the cracks in the crust. When the volcano erupted, then large amounts of tephra, such as ash and volcanic bombs, were ejected into the atmosphere. The eruption actually produces pyroclastic flows which melted glaciers and snow on the summit of the volcano, which produced 4 major lahars which flowed down the river valleys. Now these can be seen here in the map, highlighted then in the slightly more red colour, following down through these river valleys. And these lahars are actually responsible for much of the impacts felt from the actual eruption itself. In terms of the impacts then from the eruption from the volcano, then the lahars that hit the town of Almero, which you can see on the previous map, actually killed 3/4 of the 28,000 inhabitants who lived there, burying about 85% of the town itself in mud. In total then about 23,000 people were killed by the eruption, and a further 5,000 people were actually injured. Hundreds of people died from infections after the disaster, as well as many faced concerns of disease such as yellow fever, which could be caused by mud getting into wounds left over from the lahars which flowed down from the eruption itself then. Now, the loss of life during the eruption was partly down to the fact that scientists were unsure when the volcano would actually erupt. Therefore, that meant then that the authorities wouldn't actually take any action and make any costly preventative measures without clear warnings given then from these scientists of any imminent danger that would happen. So other factors then that may have had an effect on how much people were affected was the fact that the volcano hadn't actually erupted in over 140 years. So that meant that the local people had become complacent and they were unaware of the dangers that there were from this volcano actually happening. The local authorities also failed to alert locals to the actual seriousness of the situation itself. In terms of the responses to the eruption, an international aid effort was set up to respond to the disaster, with the US government spending about $1 million in aid. Many rescue efforts and attempts to bring aid to the area were also hampered by the collapsed bridges and thick soft mud, which made it difficult to transport any types of aid to these areas that had been badly affected by the effects of the eruption. Other factors that influenced the types of response that was given to the area was the fact that the eruption actually happened at the same time as the 1985 Mexico earthquake, meaning that a number of people available to help with this type of response then was limited.